Hey there. Um, Today's video, I might allow to go a little longer than usual because this is it'll be a little different after today. Um, and so I wanted to go over some stuff that's happened and how things are going to kind of change in the future. I know that's kind of exactly what this has been, but today is the last day of my winter break. And so I started this series, you know, towards the beginning, and now we finally hit the end. Today is my final night back home. And so I want to kind of do a bit of retrospective of break, uh, me, and this series. And then from there, we'll see where things go. So break started like December 15th. I came home with straight 4.0s. This was the best academic year or semester I've ever had. This is the first time I ever gotten straight A's, which was kind of a big deal to me. Though in kind of that time after the semester, I couldn't bring myself to love it as much as I would have wanted to, and it's because I had some uh, baggage holding me back. Uh, Before break started, this was a little after Thanksgiving break, actually. Right now we're in winter break, um, and this does go more personal into my life. My grandma suffered a stroke and was hospitalized, and after, right before I came back for winter break, uh, I was I was called by my mom and I was told that my grandma passed. And so I kind of had that to look forward to. Um, then we had the funeral, and yeah, I mean, it's about as much as you would expect from a funeral. Um, when I found out my grandma died, I was contacted by I guess, well, just an ex. I want to, ex is such a ugly sounding word, you know? I'd like to say, person in a past relationship, but that's kind of a mouthful. But yes, it was an ex that I still very much cared for and still had feelings for. And we ended off on good terms, yada yada. And so after the funeral, I met up with them because, they messaged me about my grandma and they wanted to catch up. So, we did catching up. And during that, uh, things got, after all the small talk was out of the way, we finally got to talk about us. And the last time I saw this person, you know, it was a really emotional breakup. And, you know, they told me, they think that they'd always come back to me even after the breakup. But then once we met and we got down to brass tacks, they said that things just wouldn't work out in the long run because we were too different. And that really did do a number on me. Uh, I know it's really kind of weird that the idea that the series started because of a relationship that was already over for a while, but to me that relationship was still alive just because the last time, like at the first breakup occurrence, um, they said that it would, there still might be a chance in the future. But then after this, it was finally like, okay, I kind of have to accept that it's gone. And I still kind of have no idea of what they really mean by, us being different. I get it, but it doesn't seem like a full explanation to me. And that also got to me. There's just a lot of things that got to me. So there's a lot of times that I referenced them in this series. I don't have any ill will towards them, and still, it is just a lot of adjustment, because it was a pretty long relationship, and so being in the holidays, it felt especially lonely. And I'm sorry to string you guys along for those who wanted to know more lore about, me being down. That was kind of the catalyst for all this. But it's not the only reason, of course. Throughout the last semester, I was really feeling that loneliness, and I'd have a lot of free time, but then no one to spend it with, and that includes friends. There are a lot of times where I want to do something, but they were either busy or they just didn't have that kind of interest. And so I spent a lot of time alone and kind of just reflecting. I'd have to fill my time with something. I spent a lot of time playing bass. It became an obsession, and at one point it was kind of unhealthy because I was actually hurting myself while playing. And I would lose sleep over it, and this was all just motivated because a lot of things were compiling and motivating me to keep playing bass. And I guess it's a better outlet than like drugs and drinking, but the way I pursued the outlet was unhealthy. And so, yeah, it was a lot of, and this is my last year in college, and I have a lot of feelings of, incomplete incompleteness, I guess. The idea that I haven't accomplished as much as I would have liked. Like, I haven't lived yet, but I am only 21. Like, I have not had that much time to live anyway. But just being in college, and I don't think I've spent a lot of time enjoying myself in college. I think I've spent a lot of time sitting in a room doing homework, then like playing a video game, and then sleeping until noon. There's some other stuff in between there, I'm sure, but that's kind of an average day, and I didn't like that being an average day. And I guess a lot of sadness came from the breakage of that loop when I came home. And I kind of expected the loop to break, but maybe I wasn't used to it, or maybe it just didn't break enough for me, because yeah, a lot of time I spent here on break was still in my room kind of doing nothing, and every now and then I'd hang out with some friends, but I know it's still kind of a bummer for me, especially those first few days. It was really like, oh man, I really couldn't enjoy myself. Like, I'd say 2 days before Christmas through like 2 days after Christmas was such a bad time for me. And it was really just a combination of everything I've just said. But yeah. And so I couldn't enjoy myself through the holidays. And then I ended up spending New Year's alone, which, again, not fun, but there were still some positives. And I do think I've recently been more positive. Excuse me. I've recently been a lot more positive. Maybe I'm just distracting myself with things, but Uh, I don't know. I just feel better. I finished like all of Breaking Bad series, so Better Call Saul and El Camino, as I said, and on top of that, I've I don't know. Today, I went, got lunch with a family. I've been playing a lot of video games and been playing Mario Sluggers. Mario Sluggers is a fun game, by the way. Uh, and again, sorry that I yap through these videos, and I'm especially sorry that this one's gonna be a little longer. But I don't know. Then an interesting thing happened today. I went shopping with my brother, and we, we did our shopping, and we were doing our talk and all of that. And on the car ride home, he confronts me about my Snapchat story. It's a bit more personal, um, and so he tells me he's on it, and I don't check who's on it. Snapchat sent me notifications at the start, but I didn't like that. I kind of didn't like the idea of knowing who's watching my story. I just wanted the idea of me being able to tell people, and if they want to come forward that they know, then that's great. And so he came forward in person, made sure I was all right. And had he asked me this maybe a couple weeks ago, I would have fucking died. But since I am doing better, I was able to talk to him a bit. I still find it hard to open up. Um, he asked me, why was I sad? I didn't kind of detail it like I am here. I wish I could, uh, but my relationship with my brother is it's very interesting. We've never had a talk like that. It's like the first time in my 21 years of life where that's that sort of thing happened, where it was a heart to heart. So for me, I guess it was just an uncomfortable and unusual situation, and I really wish that it weren't. I wish that I could just talk to people, but I can't. It's just not me, even if they are family, unfortunately. Um, so that's kind of why it's easier for me to just talk at a camera, and I guess internet strangers. And by the way, there have been comments on my videos. There's very few. I think I've only seen two. I didn't check for a while, but I eventually got around to doing it, and then yeah, I saw them, and they were very positive and motivating and uplifting. So I just want to thank those who left comments and those who will leave comments. Uh, and I also think that you didn't leave anything like, "Oh, I'm glad you're sad, bitch." That's I'm thankful that people can still be, nice on the internet. I know I can't. um, yeah. Um, so break is over pretty much, and low battery, all good. Break, uh, yeah, it's pretty much done. I have nothing left, no time left. And I will be going back to college for my final semester. These videos are still going to continue. The scenery is definitely going to change. And yeah, what else is going to change? I don't know. I want to do things that aren't just me talking to the camera. And like last entry was me outside. I think I'd like to do some stuff more like that. Maybe just like vlogs. Maybe I could have other people on, so I'm not just talking to myself. Maybe that'll be interesting. I don't know. Again, this is really personal, so it's kind of difficult for me to ask people to be on something like this, especially because I'd have to expose that this exists to people. Um, and I did briefly talk about it on my Snapchat story, but I haven't advertised it to anyone. I haven't been like, hey guys, check out my really personal and sad diary in which I cry a bunch. I haven't gotten there yet. And maybe one day I will, maybe one day I won't. I hope I will. Um, but I'd like to change it up a bit so this isn't just mindless talking, and then it could have, maybe some more positive memories on it. That'd be pretty nice. What else will change? I don't know. Maybe I can't tell if I'll be more upset or more happy with more work. But once I'm back in college, I'm gonna be starting to look for, a psychiatrist or someone to talk to, uh, which will be pretty good. I'll be a good change. I'll let them know about this. Uh, see if this is even a good idea. I think it's been pretty positive. It's a nice reflection thing. So yeah, overall break was a bummer at first, but the more time I spent with people, uh, family, friends in the band, um, and time with myself, it started to feel better again, and I started to feel better. I don't know if I'm back at 100% of where I was before. I don't even know what 100% feels like. Uh, but uh, I'm past the lowest points, I think. And I'm really on the road to recovery. So thanks for watching these videos. Again, we're going to keep going. We're going to hopefully innovate a bit, and we're going to get better. So, yeah, I will see ya at college.